I'm Doug Massey, and today I'm going to go over what it takes if you'd like to write or place 10 to 15 sales every single week. And we're talking whether it's life insurance, basic life insurance, term life, what have you, and or mainly final expense sales. Because I'm able to base a lot of the information I have on not only what some of the highest producing agents in the country are doing, but on how new agents can actually do this too. So it's pretty cool, and we're talking consistently week after week. And I am going to hit on 5 major things, starting with the exact type of leads work the best really, and how many it takes, the hours that some of these agents are putting in, the CRM dialer system that we use, integrations, exactly what it does with each lead that comes in, and basically we're talking about my system there, but it doesn't have to be really, because a lot of the information is going to go across the board for most insurance agencies and their systems. And we're going to talk about weekly advertising budget versus profit. How much are these producers spending? And how much are they actually making? What are they turning that money into? And the 5th thing, skill set. Very important, versus work ethic, and the importance of learning how to master the sale. So the interesting thing is, a lot of the information we're going to talk about is how you can do this whether you're a master at the art of sales or not, period. And then of course, at the end, I'm going to give you a summary. We're going to put it all together and just throw it out there real quick. And this is when I'm going to invite you to give the video a like and subscribe if you're a new viewer. We're putting out new insurance sales training videos and life insurance agent content like every week. And if you stick around, I'm going to show you how to get the free guarantees of whole life insurance along with the I am your policy. Guys, whether you're selling face-to-face or remotely, these are 2 very important items you'll absolutely want to use for your presentation, whether it be to use it as part of the presentation or as items that you would give to the client after you make the sale or your presentation. So let's jump right into it. Number 1, leads. Understand, we go to conventions, we go to events. And when I say we, I mean me, my business partner, our agents we know, friends that have been in the business for years. And the one thing that I've learned is that we're not just the only ones doing this one thing. It seems to be kind of across the board. In other words, other top producing agents are all doing pretty much the same things that we're talking about here. They're using internet leads and or Facebook leads, and lots of them. A lot of the agents are generating these leads themselves, and or the agency that they work with is doing that for them or helping them with it at least. At the end of the day, nobody is buying leads from a vendor that's a top producer. That's the one thing that we noticed. The last convention we went to, all the agents we spoke with, not one of them said, oh yeah, I'm a top producer because I'm basically buying leads from a bunch of vendors. Guys, that doesn't work anymore. Things are a lot different. Years ago, you could purchase leads through lead vendors and they would be pretty good. Nowadays, it just ain't happening in most cases. Let's just put that out there. With our agents and other agents outside of us, the one thing that we all do is we work not only leads, but appointments. With your typical insurance agency, the prospect fills out the lead form and voila, you have your lead. And that works. That's been working for years. It works fine. There's nothing wrong with it. What we do, and some of our competitors do also, is we add a little second aspect of it. So what happens with us, the client fills out the lead form and then pow, they see the agent's photo and they see a call now button, which a lot of them will hit that call now button. We've got agents that are getting multiple inbound calls each day, or they can set an appointment on the calendar. And so the cool thing is, right around 50% of the people of our prospects, our clients that fill out the lead form, will do one or the other. They will either hit the call now button or they'll set an appointment on the agent's calendar. And the beautiful thing about once they set the appointment, that's when the magic happens. They start getting automated emails. We're asking them to verify the appointment, just like I do with my doctor's office, right? For example, we're also giving them a reminder text message the day of the appointment. And then in the event where they stood the agent up, we have a system to where they're getting automations afterwards. Basically, hey, you missed our appointment. What happened? I think a very important aspect of some of the better leads is that they're not misleading. The old typical final expense direct mail lead made these prospects believe that this was something potentially free from the government. So the beautiful thing about our ads is in the very first sentence, there are certain keywords: affordable, insurance, burial, funeral, all these key words. But the most important thing is, if you think about it, is the words affordable and insurance. These folks know, hey, that's what this is about. This is about getting a quote and or buying the insurance. Therefore, it is a high intent lead. Thankfully, it's not difficult. It's not too expensive if you know what you're doing to generate leads like this. The bottom line is, with a good system, if you're gonna do what we're talking about doing, if you're gonna close 10 to 15 sales a day, you gotta have a lot of these leads, not just a few, not just maybe 10 or 15. I know with our platform, our top agents are getting, I wanna say right around 20, 25, sometimes 30 leads, and then another 20 plus, 30 plus sometimes appointments every single day, along with some call-ins too. And that's the key, volume. There has to be a lot. There has to be enough people for you to speak with, for you to actually make enough presentations to close more sales and help more people. Number 2, work ethic. How much time you put into the system, how much time you put into your business. And really that's the bottom line. You really need to treat this like a business owner would treat maybe their storefront. There's this mentality of, oh, I can do some sales and do this part-time. You're gonna have to bust your butt in the beginning until things get kind of automatic. And honestly, like with our system, we recommend brand new agents. You want to make up for your lack of talent by putting in the extra hours. That's really how to do it. So right from the start, 5 days a week, 8 to 10 hour days. That's my recommendation. You want to do all these sales we're talking about, you got to step up. You've got to have a good work ethic. You have to sound like you really know what you're doing. You have to sound smooth, professional, likable. You have to be good at building rapport. You got to be an excellent conversationalist. You've got to enjoy spending time on the phone talking and enjoy helping people. Really, the art of the sale, that's what this is. You have to like what you're doing. Dealing with objections in a way that's just part of the application process is very important. Number 3, you got to have a good customer relationship manager and or dialer system to do this. Look, can you just call from your cell phone? Sure, but you're doing less activity. It's going to be harder. That's where the old, work smarter and not harder comes into play. That's where the CRM does. It really does a lot of work for you if you've got the right system like what we have. Again, we're not the only ones doing this. This isn't something that I'm just pushing for us. This is something I'm talking about because it really, really works. You got to be comfortable with working with technology and similar integrations with artificial intelligence. That's very, very important too. Number 4, let's talk about the weekly advertising budget. And this is where I tend to lose a lot of people. A lot of insurance agents that aren't used to making the kind of money that top agents will make and or do make, they think different. So there's this mentality, I hate to say it, that's really what it is, a mentality of people that are used to making less than $100,000 a year. Sure, they want the most, but in many cases, their brain isn't trained to do what it takes to get there. And a big part of that, we're talking about the weekly advertising budget. Did you know the average insurance agent who does their own advertising on Facebook only spends around $300 a week? Guys, that's nothing. You ain't gonna spend $300 a week and make $200,000. It ain't happening. Now, not likely. Of course, there's always that one special person, right? It's not reality. It's never been a reality. 10 years ago, it wasn't a reality. The trick is, nowadays, modern times, 2024, if you wanna make a couple $100,000 per year, what we basically do, our agents do, is we take right around $1,500 to maybe $2,000 and or more per week, and we turn it into $4,000 to $8,000 total. We're talking basically you're turning $1,500, $2,000 into a profit of $2,000 to even potentially more than $6,000 per week. And it does vary from agent to agent and week to week. Number 5, let's talk about talent versus work ethic. And I know I touched on this a little bit at the beginning. The bottom line is our successful agents have got one or the other or both. They either work their butts off, and I push this, when you're a new agent, no matter what, you've got to put in the extra time. Generally, they're putting in the extra hours while they're working on themselves. What do you mean by working on themselves? They're listening to the recordings. They're listening to what maybe they said or did that could be better, and they're fixing it. They're reading and learning about building rapport and turning objections into part of the application process, which is basically what we do at our agency. That's something we really work hard on. By the time you've mastered the art of dealing with objections, added to the fact that you're a hard worker with positive work habits, the sales are gonna come, and with that comes the money, and a lot easier than the way most people are doing it. I know, like with telesales, at the end of the day, most people want to do telesales because they picture, oh, I don't have to go knocking on doors. I don't have to drive around. I don't have to kill my car. That doesn't mean you don't have to work hard. That doesn't mean you don't have to train to get the skill set involved to be successful. You have to do the work. In summary, you want to make 8 to 12 presentations every single day in order to make multiple sales per day. Basically, we're talking 2 to maybe even 4 sales on average per day, which will equal, at the end of the week, after working 5 days, will equal to be that 10 to 15 plus applicants each week and sales each week. Do the work on yourself. We're seeing this in the industry. This has been going on for years. There are agents that don't know what they're doing, and 3 months later are making more money than they've ever thought that they would be able to make. You'd be surprised what you can do if you really put your heart and soul into something, especially an insurance business like final expense and or life insurance sales. Hopefully you guys got something good out of this video. If you'd like a copy of the guarantees of whole life and the I Am Your Policy that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. If you'd like more information on working with us on our remote final expense platform, where our agents are getting all those appointments, just shoot me an email at that same address. As always, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there or get that headset on or get on that cell phone. Whatever you do, make sure that you do something good for someone else today. Happy hunting.